Hello YouTube people, today I am going to show you big but nice diver style watch from St. Martin. I will show you how this watch looks like on a 16.5 centimeter wrist. I will show you how this watch looks like on a bunch of different straps, and I'm also going to do a little comparison to another diver style watch from St. Martin. This is not a sponsored video. I bought this watch myself on back to school sale and I paid 165 euros. Now let me tell you the specifications, and I did all the measurements myself. So lug to lug distance is 49.6 millimeters. This is one of the longest watches that I ever had. Diameter of the bezel is 41 millimeter. Lug width is 20 millimeters. Thickness of this watch is just 12.3 millimeters. I'm saying just because, considering the diameter and how big this watch looks like, it does appear to be rather slim on the wrist. The weight of this watch off the bracelet is 73 grams. It has water resistance rating of 200 meters together with a screw down crown and a screw down case back. It has NH35 movement and has sapphire crystal with pretty good clarity, and it has rather good lume. Let me turn off the light. Yeah, the lume on this watch is very good. That's how this watch looks like from top down view on 16.5 centimeter wrist. What a beautiful thing to look at. And yes, this watch is a little bit too large on my S size wrist. Lug to lug distance 49.6 millimeters, so this watch is way too long for me. And even though initially when I resized this bracelet for myself, you know, perfect fitment, everything, I was actually surprised how well this watch feels on the wrist, how stable it sits. It's completely flat, it has flat case back profile, it's very stable on my wrist. It's a long big watch, but it's very stable. The problem comes that the inside edges of this bracelet are rather sharp, and if I wear a long watch, it tends to slide down a little bit over my wrist bone. It just goes over my wrist bone and tries to sit like that. And the problem is that when this watch sits a little bit sideways, I feel this bracelet digging into my wrist. So I tried wearing this watch with this bracelet, but only 30 minutes in, and I actually took this watch off and carried it in my pocket because it was just sitting sideways and just choking my wrist. My fingers started going numb. So no, on a bracelet, this watch on S size wrist does not feel good. But I tried this watch on nylon straps, and no, the problem is very similar. This watch is just too long and it slides sideways on my wrist bone and just doesn't feel comfortable. But good news are that this watch feels good on this kind of straps. On diver style watch on a little strap, I know it's a little bit against the rules, but it does feel good on this strap, feels comfortable, feels even better on silicone style straps, especially on this one. I will show you later. I have worn this watch on this strap yesterday, full day. No discomfort whatsoever. So speaking about the comfort, this watch on the wrist feels exactly the same as this watch. So how do they compare in terms of the comfort? Well, the bracelet is basically the same, also sharp, but the difference is that this watch lug to lug distance is 48.1 millimeter, which is also a little bit long. But let's not forget that this one is 49.6 millimeters. It's way longer. But the thing is that look at the case back profile on this watch. You see how slim it is. It's very flat, you know. And now look at this one. It's very bubbly. This one is very bubbly. This watch sits taller on the wrist. So even though this watch is shorter, they both feel actually the same on the wrist. So yeah, this one is a little bit shorter, but it's a little bit taller and it has a little bit bubbly case back. So basically, doing blind test, I couldn't tell the difference which watch I have on my wrist. And they both look amazing. So yeah, this watch and this watch, they feel exactly the same on the wrist. They weigh similar as well. This watch of the Bracelet weighs 73 grams, and this watch of the Bracelet weighs 77 grams. So it's very similar, except this one sits a little bit taller. So a little bit taller, but it's a little bit shorter, so it's basically the same. This watch has female first links, not fixed in place. This watch has male links fixed in place. So the question is, do these female links help me with the comfort when this watch is on my wrist? And the answer is no. They do feel exactly the same, because when this watch is sitting on my wrist, as you can see, these free loose links are pointing down, well, at this angle, okay? They're pointing down at this angle, right? And when I put this watch with fixed male links on my wrist, they're pointing down at exactly the same angle. So even though they are fixed in place, they're already sitting at exactly the same angle as if they were loose. So from the comfort standpoint on this particular example, I do not feel any difference. The only difference is just visual. The bracelet from up close looks like this. It has very nice finishing, very fine brushing. Looks very well done. The fitment inside looks no free play whatsoever. Sits very nicely inside those lugs. Sides of the bracelet are absolutely mirror finished, as you can see. You can read the name of my camera on the side of the bracelet. Just think about it. How crazy is that? But inside, bracelet feels a little bit too sharp for my liking. It does tend to dig into my skin, which doesn't feel very nice. The clasp is very nice. I really like this San Martin logo raised up over the clasp, and the construction is absolutely perfect. It has zero free play whatsoever. Like, you lock this clasp in place, that's it. The clasp doesn't move at all. Buttons don't move at all. It's like the precision is just exceptional. It's very well made. The only thing I could complain about, also the same as with the bracelet, it does have a little bit of sharpness. It's not terrible, but there is room for improvements. Let's just put it that way. Sides on the clasp also absolutely mirror finished, as you can see. Bottom corners are nicely rounded up. They feel nice. Top corners, they are not terrible, but it could be done a little bit better, but it's fine. Yeah, so the finishing quality from visual standpoint is exceptional. From the touch standpoint, it could be a little bit better. Just to rest your eyes, I wanna show both of them next to each other. Just a little bit for an eye candy, for the comparison, for the visuals. Pay attention that the watch on the right is dark green. Yeah, I meant dark green, and it does look very interesting. In certain light, it usually looks like it's black bezel, black dial, but on different light angle it appears brighter green sometimes. It's very interesting color. I really like colors on this watch. This green color on this watch looks very luxurious, you know. It doesn't look cheap whatsoever. It's deep dark green. It looks rather special. I do really like it. While this green, it's playful. This is like a sporty green. It does fit this watch very well. It looks beautiful, but they have these two watches, they have a little bit of a different vibe, I would say, because of those colors. This one is like a little bit sportier watch. This one looks a little bit like it's a little bit luxurious, maybe gives off a little bit more luxurious vibe somehow. And also they have a little bit different shine, you know. Pay pay attention how they shine in the light. This one is like, yeah, nothing too special really. It's just, you know, it looks like a watch. But this one, especially edges around the bezel and the bezel itself, it has this very beautiful shine. And especially, you know what, let's turn off the light a little bit. Oh, right now you see this green color a little bit better, I believe. And let's turn off another light. And look what I want to show you in a dim light. Those reflections, how this watch beautifully reflects in the dark. It has so much character in dim light like this. It's insane. I'm not even talking about those lumed indexes and hands. You know, lume on both of them equally as good. Very, very good lume, no questions about that. But I'm talking about the reflections in a dim light. I mean, yeah, this one also looks pretty good. I really like this crystal, flat crystal, how it nicely reflects things. And also this ceramic bezel nicely reflects. But this ceramic bezel, you know, it sits a little bit at the angle, and those reflections are not that, you know, they are not that strong. While this bezel is a little bit more flat. Or is it completely flat? Not completely flat, but it's way more flat, so that's why reflections on the bezel are way more striking. And in the dim light, this watch has so much visual, you know, activity. Yeah, it looks magical. I absolutely love how this watch looks like in a dim light. And when I did a video about this watch, I did complain about the dial, how deep is the dial on this watch. Therefore, this sidewall, this rehaut is very noticeable that it is just raw metal, no engraving, no polishing, no chaptering. It does look a little bit industrial, it does look a little bit unfinished. Therefore, this watch does appear to be a little bit cheap from this angle, because this dial is just very deep. But speaking about this watch, I do not find a single thing to complain about on this watch. Everything looks perfectly proportioned. There are no such things on this watch that would make this watch look cheap in any way. This watch does look expensive no matter how you look at this thing. It is very well proportioned watch, and because this dial is not deep, the sidewall on this watch is not noticeable, and it looks nice. It just looks nice. I'm not saying that this watch is bad, it doesn't look good or anything. No, I still like it very much. But if I have to compare them next to each other, that's the difference, that this dial is just a little bit cheap and the look of this watch sitting so deeply, while this watch does not have such problems. So when I bought them on back to school sale, I paid 146 euros for this watch and 165 for this watch, even though I bought them together. So why this one is a little bit more expensive? I believe that's because the finishing on this watch is a little bit more complex. Like, for example, look at the edge on the lug. It is so nicely done, it's so nicely polished out. Also, such a tiny little polished out edge, yet it is finished like a mirror, like the side of the bracelet. So finishing is just exceptional. Also, brushing on the side, very fine brushing, and the bezel is so sleek, is so nice. It's very grippy, yet it does not feel sharp. About the bezel action a little bit later. The crown on this watch also looks very nice, very nice engraving. And now once again, let's take a look at this watch. And this one also is exceptionally well made. Very beautiful crown. Also mirror finished sides on this watch. You know, such is the design, you know. But somehow it appears like this watch on the left has a little bit more complexity, therefore probably that's why it is a little bit more expensive. I don't know, but you know, it's just down to a personal preference. There is no question that both of them are finished exceptionally well. So yeah, you know what, let's take a better look at this watch. If you wanna see more about this watch, I already did video about this watch, so check it out. Right now let me show you this watch a little bit more. And I don't even need to tell anything about this watch. It's so nice. It basically sells itself, you know. I don't have a goal to sell you a watch, don't get me wrong, but it's just something that, you know, I just love having, simple as that. I bought it because I like how it looks like, and it turns out it looks really good in person as well, not just in pictures. Very nice watch. I really like this applied San Martin logo on the dial. I prefer this applied logo on the dial way more than just simple printed on logos. Somehow, at least to my eyes, such shiny, beautiful applied logo on the dial looks a little bit more premium than just simple printed on logos. But that is just my opinion and the way I see things, you know. You all have different tastes and preferences. Anyway, this watch looks nice. This is a nice watch. Let me put it on the wrist. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Let me turn off the light. Okay, let me turn on another light. And when the light fades in and fades out, you can see this green color on the dial playing out. So depending on the intensity of the light, this green color changes its darkness, you could say. That's nice, you know. Yeah, as you can see, when I turn on the light, you can see how bright green it is, and then it becomes dark. It's very interesting. It's very beautiful color. I was actually surprised how much I like it. It looks very luxurious. And once again, if I turn off the lights completely, oh, just look at this thing. How nice it looks in a dim light. And this lume on this watch. Yeah, that's a nice watch. This is a nice watch. Sorry for such a slow, laid back video this time, but I'm just enjoying playing with this watch. This is nice watch. You know, good thing that I can use chapters on YouTube, so you can skip boring parts and see exactly what you wanna see. Now let's see how good is the bezel. And it's very, very good. The difference between this bezel and this one, well, as I told you, this one feels the best, absolutely the best feeling bezel that I have ever experienced. Every individual click feels very precise, loud, and very clicky, you know. It's wonderful. It's simply wonderful, and it has very good stiffness. This bezel feels exactly the same. The only difference is that it is not as stiff. It is a little bit easier to turn, but it is still respectable. I would say it's still usable. I can manage to turn it with one finger, but it's not easy. So this bezel is still something that you can trust as a timing device, and it feels wonderful. Each individual click is very loud, very precise. It feels wonderful. You can just play with this bezel as with some kind of fidgeting toy, just to calm yourself sometimes. It's just nice. It's very nice, but it's very loud. So you could annoy people around you, but this bezel feels really, really good. Okay, the boring part of the video is done. It's time to have some fun. By the way, once I take this watch off the bracelet, one thing becomes rather noticeable is that lug ends on this watch are rather sharp, so that's not a big deal, fixable problem. Anyway, that's how this watch looks like on a green shiny nylon strap, and I think it looks wonderful. Green watch on a green strap. You know, this watch is really nice, really nice. I'm looking right now at camera screen and I'm just like, yeah, that looks good. That looks good. So okay, let me show you up close before I move on to another strap. Take a look. That is beautiful. Just for fun, a big muscular angular diver style watch on a pink nylon strap, you know. Just for fun, just to give some contrast look. Looks interesting though. Definitely looks interesting. I think this watch looks great on a grey nylon strap. This is my favorite nylon strap, as you probably already know. And just take a look at this. Just take your time and look at this. It does look good. It does look really good. This is good strap. Good strap. Initially it feels a little bit like sandpaper, but after a while it softens up and feels good, and it's not expensive and it's very durable and multiple colors available. And I really like the texture of this strap. It has a little bit of shininess as well at certain angle. It makes it look a little bit more premium, this shininess somehow. And I think it fits this watch visually very well. Dark green watch on a dark blue strap. How does it look like? I rather like that this strap has those, you know, bright edges. And this strap is soft and it's a little bit thick, but it feels premium, you know. It's very soft fabric, a little bit unusual for a nylon style strap. The negative thing about this strap is that they are not very durable. They're peeling off inside the holes rather quickly. Don't need to wear this strap a lot to see it starting to peel apart. But it's not expensive, it's very beautiful, and it's very comfortable because it's soft. This strap is soft. Now let's break some rules and let's put this diver style watch on a brown suede leather strap. And out of all leather straps that I have, I think it looks the best on this one. I am not sure exactly why, but I believe the tone of this brown matches the tone of this green. It has the same intensity or something, but it looks nice. It looks nice. And this watch on my small wrist with this strap feels comfortable. It feels fine. It sits flat, it sits stable. I can wear this watch on this strap all day long, no discomfort. So yeah. That's a solution. If you like big watches but you have small wrist, you can put this watch on something like this and it's gonna feel fine. Also, this watch feels very comfortable on every silicone strap. Silicone straps, you know, even though these ones tropical, they are pretty good quality, they are not sticky, yet still silicone stays in place better than any other material, you know, from the straps. So it keeps this watch in one place very well and feels very comfortable. So this silicone strap, and this these silicone straps make this feel a lot smaller than it actually is. And on my small wrist I don't feel any discomfort with these straps. And in my opinion, this watch probably looks the best on this black tropical strap. It just have this contrasty look somehow. I think it looks really nice. It looks really nice, and somehow even on my 16.5 centimeter wrist I wouldn't say that this watch looks too large sometimes. You know, let's not forget that the bezel size of this watch is 41 millimeters, so it's not something crazy, you know, it's still somewhat within the manageable range. You know, the only problem with this watch is that it is very long at 49.6 millimeters. But straps like this solve the problem of the comfort for me. This is the same strap as the black one before, except this one is green. And I haven't cut the end of this strap, not yet at least. But that's the only complaint about these straps, that these ends are a little bit annoying. Anyway, green tropical style silicone strap also looks really good on this watch. So yeah, this watch looks really good on many different straps, as you already saw. So this one is no exception. I really like it. Very, very playful watch as it turns out. You can put this watch on any strap and it's gonna look great. That's nice. This green strap is marketed as smartwatch strap and it has very smart, very modernistic design. But also speaking about this watch, I wouldn't say that this watch is vintagey or anything like that. I would say that this watch is also a rather modern looking thing with this angular muscular design. So this watch on this smart strap, I think it looks fine. I think it looks fine. And I have worn this watch on this strap yesterday all day long. This watch on this strap just for testing purposes. No discomfort whatsoever. I sometimes can't even forget that I have a watch on my wrist with this strap. This is one of the most comfortable straps that I ever had. It's very flexible and those holes on the strap are very close to each other, so it's very easy to find perfect fitment. And the inside of the strap is very slippery somehow. It's like a rubbery silicone strap, but it's very slippery somehow. It's very comfortable strap. So if you like the design of the strap, it's a cheap strap. I do recommend it. The comfort, the quality is really good. So what's the final verdict? Where I'm going to place this watch on my website thomaswatchreviews.com, where I rate watches into different tier lists. You know what? I'm placing this watch into keepers. This is a nice watch. It is very well made, and for the quality I would say the price is also somewhat reasonable. So yeah, it goes into keepers. So yeah, that's it. That's all I had to show you today. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.